The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chamber hummed with an energy that bordered on chaos. For the first time in 3,000 cycles, every single member species had convened in person. The reason? Humanity had done the unthinkable. They had said no. Ambassador Zoe Mitchell stood at the center of the circular chamber, her boots planted firmly on the translucent floor that floated above the swirling nebula below. Around her, representatives from 417 species chittered, roared, and broadcast their distress in every conceivable form of communication. The translation matrix struggled to keep up with the cacophony. "This is madness," shrieked the Velcrin representative, its crystalline body pulsing angry crimson. "No species refuses the Council's terms. No species." Zoe's expression remained impassive, though her heart hammered in her chest. Beside her, holographically projected from the human fleet holding position at the system's edge, stood Commander Chris Torres. His military uniform was crisp, his jaw set with determination that had become legendary among human forces. Ambassador Mitchell, the Council Arbiter, a being of pure energy contained within a magnificent golden lattice, spoke with a voice that resonated through every translator simultaneously. "You must reconsider. The terms we offer are generous. Humanity would retain limited sovereignty over 3 systems. Your species would be granted provisional membership. These are unprecedented concessions." Unprecedented concessions? Zoe's voice cut through the chamber with startling clarity. "You're offering us 3 systems out of the 72 we've colonized. You're demanding we dismantle our fleet, surrender our weapons research, and submit to Council oversight on every decision from trade to reproduction. And you call this generous?" The Arbiter's lattice flickered. "It is more than we have offered any species that violated the expansion protocols." "We didn't violate anything," Chris interjected, his holographic form stepping forward. "When humanity left Earth, we didn't know the Council existed. We didn't know about your protocols or your territories. We spread to the stars because that's what we do. We explore, we grow, we survive. Ignorance is not immunity," roared Ambassador Threx of the Korthian Empire, its 6 eyes blazing. "We have laws. The Council has maintained peace for millennia precisely because these laws are enforced uniformly." Zoe turned to face Threx directly. "And when you discovered species that had unknowingly violated these laws, what happened to them?" Silence fell across the chamber. It was answer enough. They were quarantined, the Arbiter admitted. Their worlds were surrounded, their species contained until they agreed to terms or the energy being trailed off, or they were exterminated. Zoe finished. "We've read the histories you tried to hide from us. The Nelvari, the Duranth Collective, the Whisper Worlds. 12 species in the last 2 millennia, eliminated because they wouldn't bend the knee." Panic rippled through the assembly. How had the humans obtained those records? The sealed archives should have been impenetrable. You had no right to access those files. The Velcrin representative screeched. Chris smiled, though there was no warmth in it. "You'd be surprised what humans can access when properly motivated. Your cybersecurity is impressive by galactic standards, but you've never encountered human hackers before. Turns out, when a species grows up with digital warfare as a fact of life, they get very, very good at it. This is exactly why you must be contained." Another counselor rose, its gelatinous form quivering with agitation. "You are reckless, dangerous. You develop weapons at a terrifying pace. You refuse to recognize established boundaries. And now you steal classified information. Can you not see why the Council is concerned?" Zoe's eyes hardened. "Oh, we see perfectly well. You're not concerned, you're terrified. For 3,000 years, you've maintained your peace through overwhelming force and the threat of extinction. Every species that joins the Council does so because they have no choice. You've built an empire on fear and called it civilization. And what would you call it?" The Arbiter demanded. "What alternative do you propose? Chaos, endless war between species? We'd call it freedom," Chris replied. "The right to make our own choices, our own mistakes. Yes, it might be messy. Yes, there might be conflicts. But at least it would be real. At least species would have a say in their own destinies." The Arbiter's lattice pulsed with what might have been anger or perhaps fear. "And if we refuse to accept your refusal, the Council has the largest fleet in the galaxy. We could crush humanity within cycles. For the first time since entering the chamber, Zoe smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. You could try, she said softly. But let me tell you what you've failed to understand about humans. We're not like the other species you've subjugated. We didn't develop faster than light travel through peaceful scientific collaboration. We developed it during a war. We didn't colonize our solar system through careful planning. We did it while fighting each other for resources. Conflict isn't something we fear. It's something we've mastered. Chris pulled up a holographic display. Our fleet analysis suggests you outnumber us 17-1. Those are terrible odds by any military calculation. But humans have won battles against worse. At Thermopylae, 300 held back hundreds of thousands. On the Somme, in the Ardennes, at Thermopylae. At the frozen Chosen we have thousands of years of history that says we don't surrender. Just because the odds are bad. More importantly, Zoe continued, we've spent the last 6 months preparing for this conversation. We've established supply caches in systems you don't monitor. We've made contact with 17 other species who are, shall we say, less than satisfied with Council rule. We've reverse-engineered your shield technology and improved it. And we've developed weapons that even we find frightening. The chamber erupted in alarm. Dozens of species began shouting at once. This is exactly the recklessness we feared. The Vulcan screamed, you dare threaten the Council? Threx bellowed, we're not threatening, Chris said calmly. We're explaining reality. You can attack us, and we'll fight back with everything we have. It will be bloody. It will be costly. And even if you win, you'll be weakened enough that those 17 species we mentioned will see an opportunity. Your empire will fracture. Your peace will shatter. Zoe stepped forward, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. Orin, this is what we're actually proposing. You can let us go. Humanity will take our systems and leave. We'll establish our own borders, and we'll respect yours. We're not asking to join your council, and we're not asking for your protection. We just want to be left alone to build our own future. And the other species? The Arbiter asked quietly. The ones you've contacted? They're watching this conversation very carefully, Zoe admitted. If humanity can stand up to the Council and survive, others will find their courage too. Your empire of fear will crumble, not through violence, but through the simple realization that species have a choice. The Arbiter was silent for a long moment, its golden lattice flickering through complex patterns as it processed the implications. Finally, it spoke. The Council will deliberate. You have 72 hours, Chris said. After that, we jump out of the system and assume you've chosen war. Zoe and Chris's hologram winked out, leaving the Galactic Council in unprecedented chaos. For the first time in 3 millennia, they faced a species that wouldn't bend, wouldn't break, and wouldn't bow. Humanity had rolled the dice. Now the galaxy would see if the old empire could adapt or if it would crumble, under the weight of its own tyranny, and across hundreds of worlds. Species that had long since accepted their subjugation watched and waited, hope kindling in hearts that had forgotten what freedom felt like.